Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel that is QCool. Students, this video is going to be all about questions which are given in exercise of class 10th science chapter 1 which is about chemical reactions and equations. So students, आइए one by one सारे questions discuss करते हैं of this chapter. सो स्टूडेंट्स फर्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन है कहता है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द रिएक्शन इज इनकरेक्ट. तो पहले आइए देखते हैं कि रिएक्शन क्या है. इट्स लाइक 2PbO दैट इज lead oxide. When it combines with carbon it forms two atoms of lead and it forms कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस. और इसके बेसिस में ऑप्शंस क्या दिए हैं स्टूडेंट्स. पहला ऑप्शन कहता है दैट लेड इज गेटिंग रिड्यूस्ड. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट है कार्बन इज गेटिंग ऑक्सीडाइज्ड. थर्ड स्टेटमेंट कार्बन is getting oxidized and the last statement is lead oxide is getting reduced. So हमारे को ऑप्शन में they are saying that whether first and second statement is correct or first and third statement is correct or first, second and third statement are correct or all the statements are incorrect. So students, अगर हम इस reaction को carefully देखें तो हम कह सकते हैं that oxidation means one such process where oxygen gets added to an element. So यहाँ पर कार्बन है जिसके साथ ऑक्सीजन ऐड हो रहा है ऑन द रिएक्टेंट साइड. सो वी कैन से दैट कार्बन इज गेटिंग ऑक्सीडाइज्ड. सो सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट तो करेक्ट है. बट अगर हम बात करें दैट फर्स्ट कंपाउंड की विच इज़ लेड ऑक्साइड, प्रोडक्ट साइड में ऑक्सीजन नहीं है अटैच टू लेड. सो विल से दैट लेड ऑक्साइड हियर इज गेटिंग रिड्यूस्ड. सो विल से दैट statement first is like incorrect because oxygen is being removed. And talking about statement number B, will say because the removed oxygen from lead is now being added to elemental carbon. So correct statements क्या होंगे. lead oxide will get reduced and carbon here will get oxidized. So students, ऐसे you people have to frame the very first answer. आइए second question की बात कर लेते हैं. So students, question number 2 कहता है that we have a reaction जिसमें iron oxide is going to react or combine with two atoms of aluminium in order to form aluminium oxide and two atoms of iron. So इस reaction के basis में students question कहता है that the above reaction is an example of combination reaction, double displacement reaction, डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन या फिर इट्स एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन. सो स्टूडेंट्स, हम कहेंगे दैट जस्ट बाय लुकिंग एट दिस इक्वेशन वी कैन से दैट ऑक्सीजन फ्रॉम फेरस ऑक्साइड इज बीइंग डिस्प्लेस्ड टू एल्यूमिनियम and it is going to form aluminium oxide. So in this reaction, since aluminium is more reactive than metal iron, aluminium will displace iron from its oxide. So this type of chemical reaction where one element, being it is highly stable than the other one, will displace the other one from its compound, will be called as displacement reaction. So students, this whole reaction is a very good example of displacement reaction. double displacement क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि सिर्फ aluminium is displacing iron from its compound to form aluminium oxide. iron तो as an element ही present है on the product side. So this reaction is just going to be an displacement reaction. या फिर we people can call it as single displacement reaction. Moving on with question number 3, it's like, what happens when a dilute hydrochloric acid is added to iron fillings? And then they have given some statement जिसमें से हमें जो correct statement है वो टिक करना है. So before getting into these statements, आइए हम बात कर लेते हैं that what will happen when dilute HCl or hydrochloric acid will react with iron. सो स्टूडेंट्स, जब भी हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड रिएक्ट करेगा आयरन के साथ, हमारा प्रोडक्ट वुड बी आयरन क्लोराइड एंड दिस रिएक्शन विल रिलीज सम अमाउंट ऑफ हाइड्रोजन गैस. तो अभी जैसे हम रिएक्शन की तरफ देखते हैं, हम इजीली कह सकते हैं दैट हियर on the product side we have more number of chlorine and hydrogen atom as compared to that of reactant side. Therefore, to balance the number of atoms on the product as well as on the reactant side, we'll simply place a 2 in front of HCl. So इसके बाद क्या होगा? We can say that the chlorine from the hydrogen chloride will get displaced from the iron fillings and then it will form iron chloride. So that is how we have to answer question number 3. Again students, this reaction is also a very good example of displacement reaction. Just a single displacement reaction, क्योंकि सिर्फ iron is going to displace hydrogen from its compound to form iron chloride. Moving on with question number 4. The question says, what is a balanced chemical equation? Chemical equation. Why should a chemical equation should be balanced? So simple है students, theoretical question है. So you people can answer this question by saying that a balanced equation is the one in which number of different atoms on both the reactants and products are equal. Balancing chemical equation is necessary for the reaction to obey the law of conservation of mass. For example, if we have H2 plus Cl2, on the product side we'll get 2HCl. So this shows that we have same number of elements on both the sides of the reaction. So this reaction obeys law of conservation of mass, जो कहता है that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. It only changes from one form towards the other, but it will never be created or destroyed. So once a chemical equation is balanced, we can say that it has obeyed the law of conservation. Then the last statement that you people can add to answer this question would be, balancing the chemical equation has no defined method and is purely a trial and error attempt. So कभी भी अगर आप लोग chemical equation balance कर रहे हैं, so it doesn't has an exact method by which we can balance it. It's just some protocols which are given and that you people can follow so that you people can balance that equation. अब आइए इसी के साथ question number 5 की तरफ हम बढ़ते हैं. So students, question number 5 कहता है that translates the following statement into chemical equation and then balance them. So first statement कौन सा है? It says hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen to form ammonia. So इसमें क्या करना है? सबसे पहले तो हमें chemical equation लिखनी है and then उसका balanced form लिखना है. So हम लिखेंगे सबसे पहले unbalanced equation जो होगी H2 plus N2 makes 2NH3. अब इस रिएक्शन की तरफ आप लोग देखकर आसानी से बता सकते हो that यहाँ पर we have 2 hydrogen atom on the reactant side but around 6 hydrogen atom on the product side. 2 nitrogen atom on the reactant side but the number of nitrogen atom on the product side is again 2. So number of nitrogen atom to balance है, that is 2. But we have to balance number of hydrogen atom. So to balance out the number of hydrogen atom, obviously हम यहाँ पर like in front of hydrogen atom numbers add करेंगे, because कभी भी हमें यहाँ जो ये लोअर पोर्शन होता है जहाँ पर नंबर अटैच्ड होते हैं एलिमेंट्स के या कंपाउंड्स के, यहाँ पर जो भी नंबर्स होते हैं हमें उन्हें नहीं चेंज करना चाहिए, बिकॉज दैट विल चेंज द होल कॉम्पोजिशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी हैव H2O इन अ केमिकल इक्वेशन एंड आपको चाहिए दैट दिस केमिकल इक्वेशन शुड हैव 4 हाइड्रोजन एंड 2 ऑक्सीजन एलिमेंट. सो इन दैट केस आप क्या करोगे, माइट आपके मन में एक बार ख्याल आ जाए कि आप एक यहाँ पर 2 अटैच कर दो विथ द ऑक्सीजन एटम, बट आपको ऐसा कभी नहीं करना है. रीज़न बीइंग, एज सोन एज आप 2 अटैच करोगे टू द लोअर पोर्शन ऑफ द एलिमेंट, ये पूरी कॉम्पोजिशन ही चेंज कर देगा उस कंपाउंड की. सो जहाँ पर हम इस कंपाउंड को वाटर बुला रहे थे, अब ये कंपाउंड कहलाएगा हाइड्रोजन परऑक्साइड, विच इज़ कम्प्लीटली रॉन्ग. हमें तो सिर्फ वाटर से मतलब था. तो जब भी यू पीपल आर बैलेंसिंग इक्वेशन, यू ऑलवेज हैव टू चेंज or adjust numbers which are there in front of the compound, never on the bottom side. So getting back to the question where we had hydrogen combining with nitrogen to form ammonia, जिसका molecular formula is 2NH3, will say in order to make equal number of hydrogen atom on the reactant as well as on the product side, पहले अगर हम place करते हैं 2, so 2 will get multiplied by 2 to give a value of 4. So that means अभी भी we are getting less number of hydrogen atom. So एक number increase करते हैं, 2 multiplied by 3 will give a value of 6. Therefore, we'll place a 3 in front of hydrogen. This will combine with nitrogen to form 2NH3. So now we can say that this is a balanced chemical equation which is showing that that hydrogen gas is combining with nitrogen in order to form ammonia. Moving on to the next part of question number 5, which is the second part. The question says hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air to give water and sulfur dioxide. So hydrogen sulfide means H2S, burns in the presence of oxygen or burns in the presence of air, that is again oxygen, to form sulfur dioxide and water. ये होने वाली है unbalanced chemical equation. So just हमें क्या करना है, we have to check the number of atoms which are there on both the product as well as on the reactant side, और उसके बाद we have to frame a balanced chemical equation. So we have 2 hydrogen atom on both the sides of the reaction, 1 sulfur atom on both the sides of the reaction. But अगर हम बात करें number of oxygen atom, product side में 3 हैं, but on the reactant side it is like 2. So we'll place a number in front of oxygen atom so that we could balance this reaction. अब देखिए, अगर we'll place a 2 in front of O2, this will give 4 oxygen atom on the reactant side. So we'll simply place a 3 in front of oxygen atom, so that the oxygen atom on the product side, one second, I'll just rewrite this equation. It's like hydrogen sulfide reacting with oxygen to form water and sulfur dioxide. So मैं कह रही थी that to balance out number of oxygen atom on both the sides of the reaction, will place a 3 in front of O2. So this will give 6 oxygen atom on the product side. So reactant side में इसी चीज़ को balance out करने के लिए what we are going to do is we'll first place a 2 in front of H2O, because doing so will get 2, 3, 4, like around 4 oxygen atom. And then we have 4 hydrogen atom on the product side. So to balance the number of hydrogen atom on the reactant side as well, we'll place a 2 in front of hydrogen sulfide. So जैसे ही will place a 2 in front of hydrogen sulfide, number of hydrogen atom तो balance हो जाएंगे, but number of sulfur atom would be more. So आइए, क्योंकि हमें already total number of 6 oxygen atom चाहिए on the product side, will place a 2 in front of sulfur dioxide. So up we have same number of sulfur atom on both the sides of the reaction, as well as we have same number of oxygen atom. Therefore now this reaction is balanced. Moving on to the next question, it says, one second, it's going to be the third part of question number 5. The question says, barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulphate to form aluminium chloride and a precipitate of barium sulphate. Students, हमने ये क्वेश्चन ऑलरेडी कर लिया है हमारे प्रीवियस वीडियो में, बट इवन देन आइए इस रिएक्शन को एक बार रिपीट से लर्न करें या दोबारा से लर्न करें. सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी लाइक बेरियम सल्फेट, बेरियम क्लोराइड, that is BaCl2, combining with aluminium sulphate, that is Al2 SO4 forms AlCl3, that is aluminium chloride, and barium sulphate. सो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, वन बाय वन सारी चीज़ों को चेक करते हैं सो दैट वी कुड बैलेंस दिस केमिकल इक्वेशन. सबसे पहले क्या होने वाला है, वी हैव सेम नंबर ऑफ बेरियम एटम ऑन बोथ द साइड्स ऑफ द रिएक्शन. 2 chlorine atom on the reactant side, 3 chlorine atom on the product side. Aluminium atom is 2 on the reactant side but 1 on the product side. Sulfur is like 3 and oxygen is like 12. So शुरुआत करते हैं हम एल्यूमिनियम से. While balancing the number of aluminium atom, will place a 2 in front of aluminium chloride. So soon we will place a 2 in front of aluminium chloride. Number of chlorine atom तो balance हो जाएंगे, but number of aluminium atom will get balanced, but number of chlorine atom would again be different. So to balance out number of chlorine atom, will place a 3 in front of barium chloride. So soon I'll place a 3 in front of barium chloride. What will happen is, we'll have equal number of chlorine atom on the reactant as well as on the product side, but एक disbalance आ गया between barium atom. So again we'll place a 3 in front of barium sulphate. So barium sulphate के सामने soon we'll place a 3. This will give same number of barium atom, same number of sulfur atom, as well as same number of oxygen atom. So now we can say that this reaction is a balanced chemical equation. Moving on to the next, or we can say the last part of question number 5, that is the fourth question. It says, potassium metal reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So we have potassium, that is capital K, reacting with water, that is H2O, to form potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So again count कर लेते हैं total number of elements on both the sides of the reaction. So we have 1 potassium atom on both the sides of the reaction, 1 oxygen atom on both the sides of the reaction. So we can say that 50% of this reaction is already balanced. But problem कहाँ create हो रहा है? We have 2 hydrogen atom on the reactant side and around 3 hydrogen atom on the product side. सो नंबर ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एटम तो हमें डेफिनेटली बैलेंस ही करना पड़ेगा. सो टू बैलेंस आउट नंबर ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एटम व्हाट वी कैन डू इज we can place a 2 in front of H2O. So once we'll place a 2 in front of H2O, we'll get 2 oxygen atom and 4 hydrogen atom. Now again the number of hydrogen atom are still in balance, और इसके साथ ही साथ हमने जो हमारे ऑक्सीजन एटम ऑलरेडी बैलेंस थे उसे भी डिसबैलेंस कर दिया. So let's just place a 2 in front of KOH. So placing a 2 in front of KOH gives equal number of oxygen as well as hydrogen atom on both the sides of the reaction. Now the only thing that is unbalanced is number of potassium atom. So to balance that, we'll simply place the 2 in front of K, and this will give a balanced chemical equation. So students, with this we have solved fifth question of the exercise. Moving on with question number 6. Students, आप भी ये question solve करते रहिएगा. If at all you people will feel like that कहीं भी कोई भी doubt आ रहा है, so definitely आप लोग comment section में mention करना. So now let's just discuss question number 6, which is about balancing chemical equation. So sixth question has been divided into 4 parts. The first equation is nitric acid will react with calcium hydroxide in order to form calcium nitrate and water. Again same चीज़ follow करते हैं. Number of hydrogen atom on the reactant side is like 3, but on the product side it's around 4. Number of nitrogen atom on the reactant side is 1, but on the product side it's around 2. Number of oxygen atom is like 5, but on the product side it's around 7. Calcium atom same है, that is it's the only thing in the chemical reaction which is balanced. So आइए one by one चीज़ों को balance out करते हैं. In order to get same number of hydrogen atom on both the sides of the reaction, we'll place a 2 in front of nitric acid. Soon we will place a 2 in front of nitric acid. We'll get 4 hydrogen atom on the reactant side, but product side में still it is 2. So to balance it out, we'll place a 2 in front of H2O. So जैसे आप ये changes लाओगे, you will see that now we have 2 hydrogen atom, we have 4 hydrogen atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. Nitrogen atom is like 2 on the reactant as well as on the product side, and oxygen atom is like 6 on both the sides. And lastly, we have already discussed that the number of calcium atoms are already balanced. So this is how we have balanced the first equation of question number 6. Now question number 2 says sodium hydroxide reacting with sulfuric acid. This will give sodium sulphate and water. So just एक आप क्लियर चेक करो दैट कैसे हम इस इक्वेशन को क्विकली बैलेंस कर सकते हैं. 1 sodium atom on the reactant side but 2 on the product side. So let's just place a 2 in front of NaOH. Soon we'll place a 2 in front of NaOH. This will give around 6 oxygen atom on the reactant side, but on the product side we have around 5 oxygen atom. So let's just place a 2 in front of H2O, which will give same number of oxygen atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. On the reactant side we have 4 hydrogen atom. On the product side also we have 4 hydrogen atom. Sulfur atom is 1 on the reactant as well as on the product side. So now this reaction is balanced. Moving on to the third question. It's like sodium chloride reacting with silver nitrate. It gives silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. So इस reaction के लिए हम कह सकते हैं, just by looking at this equation we can say that this reaction is already balanced. Moving on to the last part of question number 6. It's like barium chloride, that is BaCl2, combining with sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. We can say barium sulphate and hydrochloric acid is formed. So looking at this equation we can say that barium chloride, like the number of barium atom is same on both the sides of the reaction, number of sulfur atom and oxygen atom is also same. The only thing that is different is on the reactant side we have 2 hydrogen atom and 2 chlorine atom, and on the product side we just have 1 hydrogen and 2 chlorine atom. So let's just place a 2 in front of HCl and make this reaction or this equation a balanced chemical equation. So students, with this we have solved 6th question के सारे parts. Now let's just move on to question number 7. So students, question number 7 is like we have to write the again just the same question. Write balanced chemical equation for the following reactions. The first one is calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH2 plus carbon dioxide gas will form calcium carbonate and water. So statement में क्या given था, we have already written it. अब let's just count the total number of atoms on both the sides of the reaction so that we could balance this equation. We have 1 calcium atom on both the sides of the reaction, 4 oxygen atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. Talking about number of carbon atom, it's 1, but the number of so the number of hydrogen atom is also like 2. So we'll say that this reaction is already balanced because every single atom on both the sides of the reaction is just the same. Therefore, we don't need to balance this equation. Moving on to the second part of the reaction, it's going to be like the question says zinc plus silver nitrate forms zinc nitrate and silver. So we have zinc, this will combine with silver nitrate to form zinc nitrate, that is ZnNO32 plus Ag, that is silver. So number of zinc atom on both the sides of the reaction are okay, that means they are balanced. Number of silver atom are already balanced. Talking about nitrogen and oxygen, number of nitrogen atom on the reactant side is 1 and then on the product side it's 2. Number of oxygen atom on the reactant side is 3 but on the product side it's 6. So we have to balance this equation in one such way so that we'll get a balanced chemical equation. So to increase the number of nitrogen atom, we'll place a 2 in front of silver nitrate. Soon we'll place a 2 in front of silver nitrate, we'll get same number of nitrogen and oxygen atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. Now just place a 2 in front of silver so that we could get same number of silver atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. Moving on to the next question, we have aluminium which reacts or which combines with copper chloride, that is CuCl2, in order to form aluminium chloride and copper. So आइए साथ में we'll be counting the total number of atoms on both the sides of the reaction. So aluminium atom quantity is same on both the sides of the reaction. Copper is also one. It's just the chlorine atom whose quantity is different on both the sides of the reaction. So we'll start with balancing number of chlorine atom. So let's just place a 3 in front of copper chloride. Placing a 3 in front of copper chloride will give 3 copper atom and 6 chlorine atom on the reactant side. So let's just place a 2 in front of aluminium chloride, which will give 2 aluminium atom and 6 chlorine atom on the product side. So now we have same number of chlorine atom on the reactant as well as on the product side. So to balance out number of aluminium atom, we'll place a 2 in front of aluminium of the reactant side. So now we just have to balance the number of copper atom on the product sides. For that, we'll place a 3 in front of copper, and this will give us a balanced chemical equation. With this, we'll be moving on to the last part of question number 7, where we have barium chloride, that is BaCl2, combining with potassium sulphate, that is K2SO4, in order to give barium sulphate and potassium chloride, that is KCl. So to balance this equation, let's just count the total number of atoms on both the sides of the reaction. So we have barium atom that whose quantity is like 1 on both the sides of the reaction. Chlorine atom is like 2 on the reactant side but 1 on the product side. To balance it out, let's just place a 2 in front of KCl. This will soon balance the number of chlorine atom on both the sides of the reaction. Talking about number of potassium atom, it's 2 on the reactant as well as on the product side. Sulfur atom is also 2 on the reactant as well as on the product side, and oxygen, students, as you people can see, its quantity